Well, best girl may be dead, but at least second to third best girl is still alive, so yay. After the dick kicking I got last week, this episode was a nice bit of levity, even if it did have some emotional moments. It wasn't nearly as bad as last week on emotional level, so it was a nice bit of levity. There wasn't too much progression. We got some information dumped on us, some stuff got progressed here and there, but overall this was a episode to give us a chance to breathe. It had some nice moments, had some good humor. I'll just get into it. And the beginning was odd to see Okabe in a hospital setting. I don't think I've really seen him in one of those yet. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Of course, he would go look to see if Mary's still alive. Oh god, please don't tell me that happened again. Luckily, she's alive. We learned that they were indeed after Amadeus. They got repelled. Maho's apartment got attacked. And there was an explosion at one of the facilities. So they really want Amadeus and something involving with what Maho has. Um, After this, we get what I consider two red herring teases. The black haired girl who is so without much of a personality compared to her friend that I'm beginning to think she's going to be the actual villain in the helmet, though that could be Suzuha's mother. But Mary's other friend who went back into the other timeline with Okabe, that's also fishy, but she brought it up, so I don't know how that's going to come into play. But both of those two characters are very suspicious, especially since neither of them was at the party. So we're not really sure where this is going to be going. But I'll just say I wish Okabe had inquired more about the one girl going back in time, or going into the other timeline with him. But I guess he just kind of passes off like how other people kind of had memories about the other timelines as well. Moika actually had some cute moments this episode. I don't recall her ever actually using the cheap chibi emojis like that in the last one. But it was cute. It was nice to see her not be like she was in the last one. We know she's probably not the villain. She still seems to work for CERN, but she's getting a little bit more, even though she's kind of useless at the moment. But that was a nice little bit of comedy, as was Maho going to live with Fenris. And poor Maho, she's just going to be stuck with all these eccentric weirdos that she probably gets along with a lot better than she lets on. Um, yeah, it was nice to have those bits of comedy after the really, right before the really deep thing between Suzuha and Okabe, where Suzuha actually pulls a gun on Okabe and threatens to shoot him because she is just so desperate to get back. Because the Russians are doing stuff with the time machines, the Americans are doing stuff with the time machines. She's just running out of time, and she really needs Okabe to get into that time machine. But we all understand why Okabe will not get into that time machine, just because he went through all that shit to get here, and this is the future he ended up with. Who's to say the next one's not worse? So it was unfortunate to see these two go head to head like this. It was nice that Daru stepped in. It's nice to see him get to be more of a father to Suzuha than he got to be in the last one, though that was mainly because that was revealed near the end. So it's nice to see those two get some father-daughter moments, and I think Daru's honestly coming more into his own character this time. They're adding a lot more meat to him. I wonder how much of his super hacker thing is a bit of an act. The conversation between Mr. Braun and Okabe wasn't as interesting this time. It's basically just set up to what was actually a slightly nice scene, a little heartbreaking, was where he was internally talking to Kurisu about all the different organizations that could be responsible for what's going on and whatnot. But it was nice to see them have that moment. He went back to Maho. Maho is a Slav, and we know that. They have a nice little conversation before that, and then we learn that he tells her that she was trying to work on that Kurisu was trying to work on a time machine, and that Maho's like, oh, there's nothing on there, but she has Kurisu's laptop, and she's not telling Okabe that, so I wonder how much she actually trusts Okabe. So, like I said, there isn't a lot to this one episode other than the Suzuha Okabe scene, which was really deep and emotional, and honestly one of the best episodes of this entire series so far. Yeah, that was a car that went by. It was like one of the best scenes of this entire series so far. But other than that, this is mainly just a placeholder episode to give us some an important scene here and just some information, but it's mainly just to give us some breathing room after all the crazy stuff that happened in the last few episodes. So overall, a solid episode, but not one I'm likely to go back to anytime soon.